Their one hope was to get to Europe. But their return to Gambia has put an end to such aspirations.
She doesn't know how.
Sisi Sankare. Nama sa numero?
This group, 140 in total, opted to be repatriated by the International Organization for Migration.
5 months, 6 months, 7 months so that's the best
Libya is, I can call it a military place or a jungle place because it's a very hard place, very, very hard for survival, life and everything, because anywhere you are, your life is in danger. As ladies, we are sexually abused and all those things. There are lots that cannot be said out.
In 2017, over 2,700 Gambians like Afsa gave up on Europe, either because they couldn't get beyond Libya or increasingly draconian EU immigration laws deterred them. They had no option but to rebuild their lives at home. This is the new Gambia, where the seeds of democracy are beginning to grow and the economy is showing signs of life. We travel with these Gambians who have chosen to have faith in their country. We're on the outskirts of Banjul, the capital of the Gambia.
We're gonna have a successful tour.
Mustapha and Karamo first met in a Libyan prison. Together they endured the wrath of their guards, forging an unbreakable bond between them. They made each other a promise.
I came with this idea one night. It's like a dream to me that we are forming an association against this journey, because this journey is very, very horrible. And the promise that we take each other to Libya, then that promise that we are fulfilling as of now.
We are not discouraging them from migrating, but we are discouraging them from going through this back way, traveling irregularly, going to someone's country without any document, you know. Because I experienced that as a foreigner living in a foreign country without documents, you are nobody there. Even if you are dead, nobody will identify you. You will be thrown away.
With their team of failed migrants, now volunteers for the association, Mustapha and Karamo begin their mission of crossing the length of the country to discourage those who want to undertake the perilous journey to Italy, known as the back way.
How people will receive the message, it depends, because there are other families who are enjoying the advantage of this irregular migration, and you have other families who are suffering from it.
There must be some people who will feel bad about it. Yeah, these people maybe they go and lose. That's why they are saying this. Yeah, some will say that because some have been saying that to us. Yeah, but that will not discourage us. And if we are able to change one person, yeah, we've achieved something. Yeah.
Mustapha grew up here in Javakunda, the eldest of 6 children. His family amassed a lot of debt, with the hope that their son, an IT technician, could study in Germany. Today, they still pay a high price for the sacrifices they made.
This is what?
This is fish and breadcrumbs.
Fish and breadcrumbs. Money.
Despite their failure, there is no way his mother will turn her back on him, nor humiliate him.
Am li moromam ñi am mu teral seen ndeyam teral boppam léegi nag dem na amut ba tey sant naa yàlla rek gannaaw gis naa ko sant naa ci yàlla ci loolu.
At the beginning, she was telling me like, you have to go and look for a job because this is not bringing anything for you and the family. You know, as the eldest son of the family, you have to try. I know that you try, but you have to look for a job, yeah, in order to help us, yeah. So, but I used to tell her, don't worry, with this association, our lives can be changed, yeah, because we are also trying to create job opportunities for the youth, and I'm sure I will make her proud. I will make her the best mom, yeah. Gambia, yep.
Today, Mustapha and Karamo's dream is finally coming true as they board this barge for the country's northern shore. A dozen ex-migrants join them, with smiles all around.
I'm happy. Yeah, I don't know how to say it, but you know, and this was the first project that we wrote. We took it to different organizations, governments and NGOs, you know. But after 7 months, we were lucky to have it from the Germans. Yeah, I believe this irregular migration is their concern and is something that is affecting their country.
For 5 days, their convoy will tour rural areas, where poverty and unemployment are pushing villagers to desperation. Despite being one of the smallest African nations, the Gambia is the biggest contributor to the migrant flow across the Mediterranean.
It's the Youth Against Irregular Migration. This is an association from the returnees from Libya.
The first stop is St. Michael's School, one of the biggest in the province. To raise awareness amongst the students, Mustapha and his team have written a play based on their own experiences. Here, emigrating is a tradition going back generations, with the young being raised with the same mindset.
Where are you going? Bagwe?
I'm going to Bagwe, yes.
Oh my God!
Going to Bagwe, don't even think about it. Why? Don't. Why?
Because it is a horrible journey and a deadly journey, my brother.
And the hundreds of thousands that you're going to spend on this journey, if you put it into business, within 1 year you become a millionaire. Don't you know that?
Yeah, but my agent told me that he will help me within 2 weeks. Then I've seen myself in.
It's a big lie. He's the liar. All these agents are liars. Because most of those agents will never try the back way. They'll keep sending you. Do you know how many brothers and their sisters have they killed?
Yeah, he told me that he helped Lamin, he helped Usman.
The same agent will sell your sisters as prostitutes. And they will enslave your sisters to sex objects.
And some of these agents are Gambians, our Gambians brothers, whom you think that they will help you out there whilst they will sell you to the bad people.
After the count of 2,
together
we can make it. Yeah!
Hope you enjoy the drama that we played here. So all I want for you is to be concentrate on your education, listen to your elders, and make sure you have a role model that you can look up to. Your teachers, your parents, because they will give you motivation. Opportunities are here, so let's try and reach those opportunities and try to benefit from it.
That afternoon, the economics and social sciences teacher speaks for his country.
International migration has become a very serious problem, wherein we see many people leaving Africa and sub-Saharan Africa in particular. Now, one important question for all of you. Is there anybody who has someone who has ever involved in this illegal migration? You have one?
Yes, but he passed away.
He passed away?
Yes. They have accident. The boat entered inside the river.
Yes. Why do you have to go and involve yourself in an illegal migration, an irresponsible migration, where you will be called all sorts of names which are not befitting your status and your livelihood? You are those that we believe can build up this nation. We all yearn for a new Gambia, not so? We say we are living in a new Gambia. A new Gambia means we must be responsible enough to stand firm upon our words, to bend down on the ground and walk towards the development of our country.
The issue remains that here, higher education is very expensive, and the eventual job opportunities in tourism and agriculture are scarce.
The problem about sensitization is that once you sensitize them, they need to see something tangible in the country. They need to see the government being responsible enough towards creating employment for youths. They need to see the government responsible enough towards building more tertiary schools, wherein they will be able to study law, study medicine, study other fields of education in their country. There are some people, no matter how you sensitize them, once they don't see these things in place, they will leave.
The caravan's next stop is the village of Esso, where it continues its efforts to retain the lifeblood of the nation. Mustapha and his team have set up an open-air projection. People's main source of information in this village comes from social media. Online, the myth of easily obtaining a better life in Europe is propagated, despite the fact that for 90% of migrants, this dream will become a nightmare.
The central migration route taking migrants from North Africa to Italy and Malta from a Libyan port has been the deadliest in the Mediterranean, especially when compared to...
These images from Western media were seen around the world, but are being seen here for the first time. Karamo is counting on this having a profound and lasting effect.
I know him, you know. He used to beat people so much, you know. He took his gun, the pistol, you know. He hit your head until your head bring all, you know, blood, you know. But if we showing these images to them, they will be knowing that what we feel there and what we are telling them also is something truth. Because this is a real pictures, you know, it's a real image, not a fake, it's a really. If somebody wanted to go, you see this, you will reduce yourself.
Ako, an ex-migrant, has also lived this. She was kidnapped in Libya and lived as a slave for several months. She made a miraculous escape, but her return to Gambia saw her face new challenges.
kabiri nata sa pour kata mi tinola sa ko koleale itoliaja la ko dal ndala ta ka family la silo la bula te waya la manke woti lego legi hala ma dengo ala ne sa fe punto de ika wala ta
Ako dreamed of opening a beauty salon in Italy. Today she is rebuilding her life with other young girls from the organization. Together they have the courage to speak out.
Ngajela ko min be association no yento intang bota min kono wal fana bota wala kono ka understand wala ya sa bu fana nata pour ka join ban ngalo ne sax namol nata de tata fen jetele to sax abi dimila la kotenge because nte fama mo bala ci no
The following day, Mustapha and his convoy will head towards Javakunda. This small farming community lost 500 villages to the backway.
It's our concern to go there because
They are the most affected region or affected village in the North Bank region and Gambia at large. And their village is developed through the remittances. So they also have success stories, good sides. But you know, like one life is more than all those assets and all those wealth. Yeah, one life.
Welcome you again to regular migration.
A meeting has been organised with Alagi Jagne, the district chief, and some 20 local chiefs. The aim? For them to use their influence so that the families stop condoning their children's departure. Mustapha and Karamo take to the stage to convince their audience. In Javakunda, the elder sons are gone. Sana, the farmer, has stayed. The youngest of 7 siblings, he is now the only one left to tend to the family land. Acres of groundnut and miles of cereal which he diligently maintains through the sweat on his brow.
Yeah, we better because shero amandoku ngina ngabula so dinga sene jente jorang beyango ola dinga machine soto se seno kala ay nafano ibe xamela balu nyaado la mi alanko menni mankele ya. Yeah.
With no machinery and reliant on a short rainy season, Sana's harvest is not plentiful enough to support his family. The young man belongs to a forgotten generation who lived through the Jammeh's dictatorship. For 22 years, the then president never developed the country's farming infrastructure. Potentially fertile land is now used for mere subsistence farming. In the village, the inhabitants depend on money from the Gambian diaspora, which has financed the construction of a new mosque, tractors for the most fortunate, and brick housing. Sana and his family are equally reliant on this revenue, as they receive a few hundred euros each month from their brothers working in Europe.
Because family live balu I understand.
Sana's father Jaite was unable to stop his sons from leaving. One of them died in the Mediterranean. Now he is trying to put an end to the system. The Gambia is facing a dilemma. 1/4 of its wealth comes from the earnings of its people working abroad. Developing the country's resources is more urgent now than ever before. Back on the south coast, Mustapha and Karamo remain focused on their plan. Abli is a perfect example of reintegration. After failing to get to Europe, he returned 5 years ago and started a chicken farm.
No, you're Adam Jillian and Sway.
Despite a tricky start, he now turns a profit and pays his employees a steady wage.
These are small chicks. We normally import them from Senegal. And then for these ones, these are reared for meat, not for laying. We put fire here to warm the house. Yeah, to heat the room. This is just about 3-4 days, 200 grams.
200 grams.
Yeah, it is very profitable. Yeah, when you rear it for 6 weeks, if your market is fast, you can see that you can sell and then have at least 30% profit.
Poultry is a good business and it's something that we have passion in it. Yeah, we even have a land that we want to use as a poultry farm.
With no way of getting a loan and no experience, Mustapha's young volunteers have a slim chance of success. Abli steps in and offers them training.
Yeah, don't go push. No, back off. Wait. Let me see. You don't need to remove them from the laying box. The reason why unemployment rate is very high in this country is because the authorities fail to promote the local industry. For example, poultry. If we produce locally, then imagine how many people, how many youths would have engaged into this business that will give them employment.
Abli hopes that the new government will learn the lessons of the past and put European aid money to good use. The country has been allocated around 15 million euros to create jobs and train young people.
When the country have a lot of youths with nothing to hold on to, it can lead to robbery, increase in crime rates, trying to stealing. Yeah, all this can happen. Frustration can lead to the stability of this country.
This meeting with Abli has given Mustapha and his friends renewed hope. But will it be enough to believe in this new Gambia? We're at the Barrett Road Terminal, one of the country's busiest. The young people here have lost faith in the promise of change. Their gaze is fixed on Europe. 19-year-old Ibrahim has nothing left to stay for.
Man so gisee ma bëgg dem tamit pour dimbale sama kilifa yi la rek man balin sa baax na ma dem ci jaamane rek man na dem rek am lu ma jappalé sama kilifa yi rek wala tamit suma démé fofu mëna jàng sax xam nga sax so jàngé tamit xam nga éducation tamit moy yépp so jàngé tamit mëna am dara sax.
They are our childhood friends. We are together here playing football, going to school together. But some are in Germany, some are in Italy. Yes, that also is true. Some people are suffering there, we know, but some people also make it. But here we cannot make it. No one can make it here. All of us are suffering. Yes, because Libya is hard. I'm waiting for the next way. If I hear another way, you know, peace is there. Yes, I can take my way and go.
An unlikely route seems to have opened up. Some think it possible to take the ocean in a canoe, or even cross the Atlantic to reach the United States. They're ready to risk it all to navigate the obstacles imposed by the European authorities.